I don't know who you are, but you saved our lives.
We're Autobots. We're from Cybertron, a planet far from Earth.
Alright everybody, Ringingworm here, again bringing you another review video, or at least what I call a review video, because I don't know if I'm doing the actual review as much as I'm talking about my childhood, which is kind of the reason why I'm doing these videos anyway. But anyway, today we're going to do the last Transformer in my collection. I don't have any more to review. I can review the 3 that I have from G1, but I'm not going to do that. This is the MP-10 from Takara Tomy Convoy, also known as Optimus Prime. And guys, I am thrilled to death to do this review. I picked this up from Salt Lake Comic-Con. I went crazy at Comic-Con. I bought 90% of my Masterpiece collection Transformers at that Comic-Con. The only ones I didn't buy was Bumblebee and Ultra Magnus. The rest of them from all these other videos you see I got at one Comic-Con. So I went crazy on that. Normally I look for things that are related to DC or Hot Toys or whatnot. This particular trip was almost exclusively Transformers. And I don't regret doing it. In fact, if anything, I've got on a Transformers kick. I have been just obsessed with picking these items up. I picked up the background that you can see with Teltran 1. I picked up just a whole bunch of other things. And I've been looking at eBay for some of the other figures like Fans Toys, Dinobots, and whatnot. And hopefully I've got Grimlock coming because I did bid on one of those and won that bid. But I got him for a steal of a price, and hopefully I end up getting that collectible when he comes. But anyway, this is all about Optimus Prime. Now, Optimus Prime is my favorite character. Now, I have Ultra Magnus, and I said I absolutely love him. He's one of my favorites. Absolutely is, because he's one of the first toys I purchased. But Optimus Prime, I'm going to tell you, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. My parents didn't have a lot of money. So when I got Transformers, it was sometimes that they were hand-me-downs from friends or for garage sales. A lot of times I didn't have the ones that everyone else had because we just couldn't afford them. And in my collection when I was a kid, I never had Optimus Prime. So when they came out with Ultra Magnus and I was 6 years old, I ended up buying Ultra Magnus because Ultra Magnus has a white version of Optimus Prime from the original G1 cartoon, and I showed that in another video. But for this particular figure, I saw him at Comic-Con. He did cost me a little bit of money, over $200, and that's something that you're going to have to get used to if you start doing these collections. Now, if you go small, there are versions of Optimus Prime you can get at Walmart or whatever that are close to the way he originally looked when he was a cartoon, but they're not like these Masterpiece collections. So as far as what you should do as a collector, I can't answer that for you. I don't collect a lot of G1 Transformers because looking back at the G1 Transformers, they sucked. And what I mean by that is they usually looked exactly like their their car modes or their vehicle modes or their alternate modes, but very rarely did they look exactly like their robot modes. And even Optimus Prime looked exactly like his car mode, but he didn't look exactly like his robot mode. Now here is the G1 version of Ultra Magnus. He's also known, this white one right here is also known as Convoy. Now, they changed it because of the cartoon, and when they brought him over here, they made him Ultra Magnus, but this was basically Optimus Prime. Now, he transforms exactly the same way, and I talked in my last video about diecast. This piece right here is diecast, and you can see the difference is white versus this yellow tinge because it's faded over time. Now, it's not perfect. I didn't take perfect care of it when I was a kid, but it is the version of Optimus Prime. Now, he's really easy to transform. His legs just come down. His arms just snap out, just like they do in the cartoon. and then his head flips up, and you can hear all that dust in there. And this was Optimus Prime. Now, you got to picture him red, because in the cartoon he was red. Excuse me, the original G1 toy is red, but really there is no difference here. Now, I'm missing his hands. They didn't make it in. He's got die-cast in his feet, and you can see all the die-cast. He's got rubber tires that have held really well throughout the years. But if you look at his face, he doesn't look like Optimus Prime. But this is what he originally looked like in the toy line. There's really no difference. Now, you look at him from the sides, there's nothing folding in. There's nothing streamlined about this figure. He's very, very simple to transform. You can see through his cab there. There is a cavity in here that you could, I guess, theoretically put a character. But look how small the character would have to be. Because here's Spike in his chest cavity. Now, he probably would fit in there if I sat him down and scrunched him in there and whatnot. It'd be really tight. But that's what we had to play with growing up. Now, just really quick. His knees do bend. His elbows do bend, his arms do bend, but there is no side-to-side motion at all whatsoever. There is no, you cannot move his legs forward. You can move him back just because of the way he transformed, and that was about all you could get as far as playability from this particular figure. There just wasn't that much. So a lot of this playing with this figure came with imagination. You had to just imagine this being the way it is. And as you can see, it's not really trying to hide anything. Even this little back platform, it's not trying to hide, which is always, you know, kind of out of place and whatnot. But this is how I had to get Optimus Prime. I had to buy Ultra Magnus, and then I had to pretend that that was Optimus Prime because I couldn't get Optimus Prime any other way, and I worked really hard to save up the money for that figure. Now, a couple things I just want to show you off to the side here. If you look at his robot or his truck mode here, and I'll show him transformed, but you can see the detail in there, the paint, and not that much different than this right here. You can see the paint going down like that. And again, not hard to transform. His Autobot logo's in the same spot. That's exactly how I want him. I don't want him any other way. But anyway, that's it. I mean, that's the G1 version of Optimus Prime. Or, you know, in case there's any fans out there, they're going, no, that's Ultra Magnus. You know what? Originally from the Takara line, he was Convoy. So you can make the argument both ways. Yes, that was Ultra Magnus, but Ultra Magnus never looked like that. Later in the comic book, they did show him without his armor, and he is white like that. He looks exactly like Optimus Prime. Again, it's personal preference. The way I view it is he's Ultra Magnus, but obviously the original manufacturer intended him to be a different version of Optimus Prime. And that's just all there is to it. Anyway, so just really quick, I'll show you the box, and I'll do the best I can, because it's funny because Optimus is not the biggest collectible in my arsenal, but he has by far the biggest box. So he does come with a trailer, and that does add a lot to the size of him. So as you can see, the Takara Tomy logo, you got Transformers Masterpiece. You can't really see it great because of the glare, but it does say right there, Convoy. That is perfect new model. MP-10 Cybertron Commander. You turn it to the side. You got kind of his arm carrying over. You got the Masterpiece. Very, very nice. If you look at him in the back, it kind of breaks down all the things that he comes with. Sorry, a little bit of a glare there. You can see him in his Transformer mode. And I'll show a picture of him off in the right here, guys, of his G1 counterpart, just so you can kind of see the difference, because I don't have that one. But you can see Rollers in there. Now, I did hear one collector talking about Roller being blue, because the Hasbro version is blue. But Roller, I watched the G1 cartoon. He's silver. I don't know where they got that he was blue from Hasbro. Maybe the original G1 toy was blue, but Roller is silver in the cartoon. And you can see his command bays there. You can see Spike sitting there on top of it, and you can see him next to Hot Rodimus there in that picture right there. You can see his axe. You can see the Matrix of Leadership, and all of that comes with this version of Optimus Prime. So I'm going to get the box out of the way because we don't need it. And then he comes with his book of instructions, and I don't remember where I put those. There they are. So he comes, you're looking at my other stuff over there. He comes with his book of instructions here, a little bit different than some of the others. He comes with his collector card right here. Now, I can't read it because it's in a different language. You can see how impressive he is compared to the other Transformers. He only gets 2 8s. Everything else is a 10 because, of course, he's Optimus Prime, and, of course, he is a 10. So, anyway, he's intelligent, all other type stuff. He has the Matrix of Leadership that helps make him more intelligent. And then, again, you can see the difference between the Fans Toys instructions and this. This is basically his repair bay. You can do it 2 different ways. It shows you how to transform him. I'm not going to follow the instructions for transforming him. I'm just going to do it the way I think it needs to be done. If you take offense to that and you think that he should be transformed the way he does in the instructions, by all means buy this and do it yourself. Otherwise, it is what it is. I'm just saying. So anyway, really quick, he comes with Roller here. And he comes with his trailer, and he comes with his gun that you can see his hand. He comes with his axe, which is inside the trailer right now. So I'm not going to show you that to you really right just yet. But that's basically it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform him, and then I'm going to show you how to transform him back from truck to the robot. I'm not going to show you transferring him from robot to truck. Guys, these videos are already over 20 minutes, and I don't want to make them any more than that. So I'm just going to do the one transform, and then if you want to pick them up, you can show it from there. So I'm going to start with Roller and the trailer, and then we'll go from there with MP-10. Now, he comes with Spike here from the original G1 cartoon, and I have Spike in his adult form and Daniel. So I think it's really cool that they add these things. Now, Spike here can go inside Optimus Prime, and I'll show that, but he can also go inside Roller here, which I love. He's not in there uber secure, but I do like that as an added touch, and I think I have him sitting inside a Roller anyway, long term. So, really quick, I'm just going to lower my camera. If it's noisy, I apologize. I don't realize how noisy it is when you're doing this, but it is what it is. So, you've got Roller here, who's an absolutely fantastic addition. You know, you don't see him a lot in the cartoon, but he is there. He's got a little bit of a transformation. This flips down, kind of becomes a gas can. And then this part under here rolls up. And you can literally store Optimus Prime's weapon in this spot right here, which, yeah, should... And it's because I'm trying to show you guys this that it's making it lighter. I'm sorry. Right there. So it goes like that. And you can do that. So, you know, one of the things I heard from another commentator say is it kind of gives you an idea of where his gun can go if he's not transformed. Because everyone always wonders where his gun goes. But this rolls up and you can actually use him to operate the trailer. So if you look underneath here, he's got these 2 little tabs. These come up, as you can see. He's got these little tabs, and this just slots in to this piece right here, and then Roller can take his trailer away. So there's kind of an example of where his trailer goes. Now, if you don't have these legs that I just showed you up, that's what ends up happening in the trailer. But one really cool thing about his trailer, before I get going crazy on it, is he's got these legs. Now, I want to show you. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it in the camera. As you can see, these parts extend as you're rotating them out. And I think that's a really cool touch. Now, you can have them with this. This is intended to be kind of support for his trailer. Now, his trailer is not overly complicated. You just kind of got to lift up, and his doors are really tight. ratchet. You have this little ramp here, 4-roller that comes down. Really cool, and he fits in there really, really nice. I don't have any other Transformers transformed into their car mode, so I'm not going to show you them inside there. You just have to look at maybe another video. But pretty easy. This goes in, this closes pretty easy, and then this separates, and it's a little tricky because it's in there really, really tight, and his repair bay basically comes down. Now, really quick, I'll just show you kind of at a different angle. It comes down. He's got a lot of little bits in there. I'm going to stand it up here now. Okay, so if you lift this up, let me lift up the camera again. You can just see all the detail in the trailer. It's pretty impressive. Now, getting up to the top of the trailer, he's got these little bays. Now, if this was laying on its back, you've got these kind of computer stations that flip up like so. And then on this side, the same thing when his axe isn't tucked in there. And his axe tucks in there just perfectly, just so you know. Perfectly, but doesn't come out perfectly, I guess you could say. Anyway, his axe just tabs in there perfectly. I don't know about this axe compared to the other ones. This one feels like a softer rubber on it than some of the other ones, but this flips up too, and you got kind of these little bays for Spike or whoever to sit in, which is really cool. Now this part flips up right here, and I'll try to show this as best I can. And he's got another place to sit, which is up in there, which I really like. And then this arm comes down, and his hands open up, and everything else like that. And that's basically his trailer. So it's a repair bay. Now, if I put Optimus right next to this repair bay, you kind of have to lift this up like so. But if you have him standing, he fits in there perfectly. And that's his repair bay. So you can literally pull this arm down, and it'll pretend like he's working on Optimus. You can have Ratchet sitting there working on, which is kind of the pose I have him in on my display shelf. It's up to you as far as that goes. So there is his trailer. Pretty awesome that he comes with that. He comes with this axe right here. Comes with roller. Comes with Spike, and comes with his weapon. Now, I just want to show you his weapon really fast because this is part of the transformation. Now, some people wonder where he pulls his weapon from, and some people have said that he pulls it from his back somewhere. So the really cool part about this is this folds in and snaps into place like that. If you spin Optimus around like so, you can see he's got this little hole right here in his back. And yes, his gun just fits right into that hole. No, just kidding. Anyway, his back just rolls down like so. And then this piece just fits in there snugly, just perfectly, just like so. You can see it, and you can see this little spot right here for his barrel. And then that just goes up like so. And that's where you can store his gun, which I thought was a really awesome touch. Anyway, I'm going to pull that out because I don't store them like that. And there you go. So, well, guess I got to be careful because I almost pushed him over. Now, his transform is really easy, but I'm not going to show that on camera. I'm going to show you what he looks like in his truck mode, and then I will transform him from truck mode into Optimus Prime. So, just give me a second. Alright guys, so here he is back in his truck mode. Now one thing to show you guys that I don't like, now Ultra Magnus has a lot better range of motion. So his windows flop out like so. If you want to put Spike in there, I showed you with Spike, Spike was sitting in there earlier. I'll show you where he goes. But I don't like his range of motion. So he doesn't turn. If you have this locked into place, you can see he's got these little tabs here. If you lock those into place, he doesn't turn very good. Hang on a second. You'd think that I would have this before I started rolling, but there we go. Just all sorts of problems with me and this camera, I swear. But that's what you get when you're an amateur YouTuber who doesn't know what he's doing, right? So anyway, that's about the range of motion that he has. Now, I've driven big rig trucks before in my personal life, and that is not a lot of clearance. So again, you do have to take some liberties and have some imagination with it. Most of the reason why he can't turn is because his groin area takes up so much space. But ultimately, as far as the cartoon goes, I think that's pretty spot on accurate. I don't really think you can get much more accurate than that as far as Optimus Prime goes and looking the way he did in the cartoon. And sometimes in the cartoon, he didn't even have that much clearance to turn and whatnot. But it's pretty cool. And like I said, he comes with roller. He comes with his weapon. He comes with spike and all that type of stuff. So really quick, I'll just show you. I'm going to take his trailer off because we've already seen that. We don't need to look at that anymore. Anyway, so not the greatest detail. It doesn't look like there's a steering wheel or anything in there. But he just basically sits right in there like that. And then you close the door and you can see Spike inside his cab. Now, I love it. I think it's great that they added that. Obviously, I would like it better if he had a door that he could enter in from the side. But that's really cool that you can have Spike displayed in there instead of just out of the truck. So like I said, his mirrors come out. I think that's a nice touch. He's got big smokestacks. Again, a nice touch. Because even the MP-10, and I guess I could review MP-10, but I don't have all the things that came with it. I've moved a couple times. I lost it. I know, shame on me for not being a great collector. It is what it is. But anyway, there is MP-10 in his truck mode. Now, to transform him, he's really very simple. Now, I showed you the Generation 1 transform, so I'm just going to show you really quick. So to transform him, it's easy. You just flip his head around, you twist his arms back to the back, and then you slide these into place, just very much like the cartoon did. And then his legs just fold down, and they go right into place. Well, there's not that much difference between this transformer and that transformer as far as how they transform. Just there's a few more complicated pieces that you've got to put in place. But his arms are in the same place. His legs are in the same place. And just like this, where his legs go like that, kind of the same thing, but a little bit more complicated. Just not a lot more complicated, just a little bit more complicated. And that's how he transforms. Now his hands are in the same spots as they are in that G1 toy, but they're all one piece, so you don't end up losing him like I did with the G1 toy. So it's really cool. These gas tanks tab into his waist. So if you look right here, pop that out, you can see there's a little tab right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a tab right there that goes into his waist. That just, you got to pull those out because that is going to prevent him from transforming into his full mode. So you can see those are basically pulled out, and his legs just separate and then they pull straight down. Really easy. Not complicated at all. Now underneath here, you've got these little flaps that just come around and snap into place very, very smoothly. And then he's got these flaps on the sides that come around and form his shins. So, again, as easy as it gets so far. Now, one big difference between the G1 toy and this one is his legs are going to turn around instead of just stay like this. Now his cans come down and just hide his tires even more. Just like so. And there you have his legs. And that, guys, like I said, I don't know if it gets any easier than that. So, really quick, his torso here, the best way that I think that you can do this is to do his arms first. Now, before you do that, you've got to change some things. So these little headlights here come off, and on this side they do the same thing. So they come off like so, and they just kind of fold down flat. So I'm going to pull that out and fold that down kind of flat like so. Now his arms are in there right here, just like in the original cartoon. You can do it different ways. It's really up to you. But you just got to kind of pull back on his arms And this might not be the best way of doing it, but it's how I'm doing it, and that's just the way it is. Anyway, his little steps here just fold underneath. That's pretty easy. And I'm not going to do anything with his arms right now because I'm going to do the other transformations first. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. You just kind of pull his arms out and around. Little steps there, just fold on. You can see his hands in there. So right there, he's got some transformation. Now I'm going to open up his chest cavity. I'm going to roll his head around. So just like the G1 toy, his head goes basically in the same spot. It just rolls up forward instead of the other way around. And then this part right here is so smooth, goes right up like so. Now his matrix is showing in there. I'm going to leave that the way it is just for a second. Now, I don't know if you can see it entirely, so let me move my camera up. And I know that's loud, guys, because it's on a tripod, but that's just all there is to it. Anyway, so this part just comes up. You can see it right underneath here. There's a little thing that it sits into. So I'm going to lift up on this right like so. And that kind of frees up a little bit of space. Now this is pretty easy. Going to move his arms up all the way up top. This is going to come around. This is going to come around. And all you're going to do, again, got to move his arms out of the way. All you're going to do is these are just going to roll up. Put these down flat. Hopefully you guys can see all that because I'm not even looking at the camera. And you know what? That's just part of the fun of watching a Ringingworm video, is you never know where the camera is going to be. So anyway, he just kind of sits down now onto his base. So it's not all attached yet. His waist turns around like so. Fold down his matrix. Now, you have to lock him kind of into place, and he's got a little tab right here that tabs into his chest piece. Into his abdomen. So then you close that up, roll around to the back here. Now move his arms out of the way again. And all you're doing with this is you're flipping this up like so, and then this comes down and flattens down. Same thing on this side. Just flattens down, roll up, roll down and back and flat, and there you go. Now he's pretty much transformed. I'm off center again. He's pretty much transformed, and then you have the last piece. Now his wrists right here, or his forearms come off, and his arms roll around, and then that just snaps back into place. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, his smokestacks come down too. So when he's sitting on the back of his truck, it looks like his smokestacks are actually attached to his engine block. And again, so you just, with this side, you just break is a bad word when you're dealing with high-end collectibles, but anyway, you just unsnap that piece, and then there you have it, Optimus Prime. Now, a couple things. He's got his axe, and it just fits over his hand. One person said that they didn't like you could see the blue part of his thumb. I'm never going to display him with the axe. Maybe if I get Megatron, which I don't know if I'm going to do because I collect mostly good guys and bad guys. So there's his axe. Looks pretty good on him. You have, the one thing I don't like is you pretty much have to have his arms right at his side to look right. His mirrors just fold in, but if you pull him out, you get a lot more range of motion. Now, I showed you I could not do that with a G1 toy, even if I wanted to. His arms move all the way around really quick. His hand opens up. He's got his one main index finger opens up, and look at that. I just snapped it off, which is fine because it's just snaps right back on. Pretty much. Hang on. Okay, it really wasn't hard. I just folded his hands back down. So just be careful. Anyway, his fingers do extend a little bit straight. If you look at his gun, same thing as all the other Transformers. He's got these little tabs underneath. You just put his weapon in his hand, if I can even get it in there, and then you just tab it right into there. And as you can see, he doesn't even have his hands closed yet. He's holding his weapon pretty securely. And then you just close his fingers basically around it, and I just knocked it out of that little tab spot because hands are my favorite thing to do on this channel. So anyway, there you have it, Optimus Prime. Now his little antenna on the side here move up, his neck moves up. Some people were complaining it's not on a ball joint, which I don't understand because you get pretty much the same motion. In fact, I hate the ball joint because it doesn't look like he has a neck. And he has a neck on this particular figure. So basically this is the only pose you were able to get from the old G1 toy right there. And as you can see on this one, you can move him up, you can move his arms down, his wrist turns, so you can get some different dynamic poses that way. Just all around a better figure. The only thing I don't like is his head is a little bit loose on that swivel on the top. So his head, if you don't get it in the right spot, will just flop back down to that position, which is fine because where I have him, he's just sitting with the other Autobots in his repair bay, and he's just kind of standing there. So, guys, just absolutely amazing figure. This is a longer video for the Transformers that I've done. I do apologize for the length of it. Just absolutely fantastic. I'm glad, the more videos I'm doing of these Transformers, I'm glad I got this background. I didn't get the background for the videos, but it just kind of works out that way because I don't like that black cloth. In fact, I'm going to be doing a review on some of my Batman characters soon, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do them without showing the things that are in my office just as a black wall, because I don't necessarily like that. But having said that, this display that I have is going to make it a lot easier to do these Transformer videos. I can stack them on top of each other. I'm not going to get the biggest figure that I've seen, which is Omega Supreme. At least I don't think I'm going to, even though it's reasonably priced. It's just so big, I don't know where I would put it. Maybe if I get a bigger office when my oldest daughter moves out, then that's something I'll consider. But right now I just don't have the space that I'm allocated in my home for it. Guys, MP-10 Optimus Prime is absolutely amazing. He's everything that a Transformers fan could want. He absolutely looks like Optimus Prime in every facet. The only thing that I don't love about this particular figure is he's got these dark eye slots, and I don't know why they're that dark. I know you can buy a upgrade kit for him, which will make it to where you get more of a blue eyes. If you get the Hasbro version, his eyes are a lot more lighter in color. So ultimately, this is the Dakara version of Optimus Prime, Convoy, whatever you want to call him. And I'm okay with having this. I'm not going to buy the Hasbro version of him. For me, I have a hard enough time justifying the cost on these things. Not that I'm not going to justify the cost on them, because I'm going to buy them anyway. But I don't need 2 or 3 versions. This provides me with the pleasure that I need in it. So, guys, MP-10 from Takara Tomy Toys. Absolutely fantastic figure. I highly recommend you pick it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share. I love feedback, guys. Give me as much feedback as you can. I would love to change the way I do things if I'm able to do so. I love that feedback. I actually work in a business where feedback is crucial for success. So don't hesitate. Don't feel like you're going to hurt my feelings. If you get ornery on there, I'm just going to ignore your comments. I want constructive feedback, not hateful feedback. But I don't care. Write your hateful stuff there too. I haven't had any hateful stuff, but if you do, you know, it's not going to bother me. I've got thick skin, I promise you. Guys, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.